Hello everyone, it's Joshiek56 here and welcome back to another Minecraft tips and tricks video. Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about dual wielding. And if you don't know what that is, well, that's basically what I'm doing right now, is holding two items at the same time and be able to use both of them. So in this video I will be showing you some dual wielding combinations that will make your life in Minecraft much more efficient by using these combinations. So without further ado, let's get directly into it. Alright, and if you were wondering what the structure was from the intro, well, basically these are the 5 categories we'll be covering in this video, so everything is sorted by category. We have main, some miscellaneous combinations. You can use mining, some tips for combat, building, and traveling. So first of all, how do you do a wield? How do you put something in your left hand? And if you happen to be left-handed, then you just need to reverse everything in the video. I'm gonna stick with right-handed because most people are. If you didn't know, you can switch your main hand in this option right here under options and skin customization. There you can set your main hand. Alright, so how do you do a wield? Well, basically there's 2 things you can do. You can use a hotkey, which by default is the F key, to move the selected item into your offhand. And then you are dual wielding. If you then select something else in your main hand, you are dual wielding. Basically holding 2 items at the same time. If you want to check which key you're using for the dual wielding, it's right over here in the control section. Swap item with offhand, and that's basically default F. There's another way you can put items in the offhand, which is by going into the inventory and then moving items into this slot right here. That's the offhand slot as well. Alright, now let's get into the tips and tricks, shall we? Alright, the first tip I want to give you is to hold food in your offhand and anything you like in your main hand. Because that's really useful, because you can eat anytime you want while still holding anything in your main hand, so you don't have to switch constantly to your food. So that's a really useful tip if you are traveling, for instance, like if you are traveling really far and you want to do other things with your main hand, that's really useful. Alright, the next tip is to use ender pearls in your offhand and anything you like without any right click action in your main hand, and then you can use the ender pearls by right clicking at any time you want. Make sure it's an item without a right click action, otherwise it doesn't work. So use a tool, for example, or whatever. Alright, that was the miscellaneous main category. Let's move on to the next category, which is mining. This is a fairly common one, but in case you didn't know, it's really useful to have torches in your offhand while you're mining, because then you can use your left mouse button to mine and right click to place the torches down. So that's really useful. And I also have another Minecraft tips and tricks video on how to never get lost in mines. A link to that video will be in the iCard on the top right of the screen right now. Another mining related combination which I find really useful is to hold a pickaxe and then a block, which is really useful for blocking off stuff and then mining with your pickaxe. So that can be really useful if you want to do something like this. If you wanted to block off some things, I find that really useful, that combination. If you happen to stumble across a lava lake, this is a really useful tip. Hold a water bucket in your offhand and you can do things like these. You can mine stuff and then you can right click to place the water bucket. So you can do that really easily, and you can also right click to pick up the water again. Alright, so that was the mining category. Let's move on to the combat category. Alright, so the first tip is to use a sword and a shield. Basically, this is the new 1.9 way of blocking, which you used to be able to do in 1.8 and lower with your sword. But now you have to use a sword and a shield together with this dual wielding. So left click to attack and right click to block. The next combination, which is really handy in combat, is to use a sword and a bow together. You can once again left click to attack and right click to use your bow. If you wanted to use a special type of arrow, like this tipped arrow, this spectral arrow for example, you can put that in your offhand and you will see that it will use that specific arrow instead of the normal ones. So that's how you can override the arrow that will be shot when the bow fires. The next tip I want to give you is to use a golden apple in your offhand and a sword or any other weapon you want to use. Basically you can attack with your left mouse button and then right click to eat the golden apple, which can be really useful in PvP if you need to heal quickly. Let's say you're in a tough situation and you're fighting against something, or whatever, another player or mobs, and you don't want to risk dying. Well, basically what you can do is hold this totem of undying, if you have one, in your offhand, and whatever happens, you won't die. But you can only use it once, of course. So let's get the heck out of here. Alright, moving on to the next category, which is the building category. One simple tip for stacking up and going down again is to use a pickaxe and any kind of building block together. Use the building block in your offhand and then you can jump and hold right click to go up. And then you can hold left click to go back down, which is really useful in building. Another tip which can be really useful if you're building and if you need to switch two blocks quite often, you can use the dual wielding hotkey to swap the blocks really easily. So if you wanted to do something like this, you can do it very easily. If you wanted to make, for example, a random pattern, or it's really handy to do stuff like this. Alright, we're also incorporating a little bit of farming into this building section. You can use a hoe and seeds in your offhand to quickly place seeds on farmland. Just like that, which is really easy. Just hold down your right mouse button and the seeds will be placed as long as you just hover a little longer over your farmland. What you can also do is use this combination of seeds and bone meal. And you will use the bone meal. You will use the bone meal after these seeds have been placed. Once again, just hold down your right mouse button on the farmland and it will all be good. Alright, and then the last category, traveling. If you happen to stumble across animals you want to lure to your home base, what you can do then is put the food in the offhand and then you can do anything you want with your main hand while still luring the animal. You probably know about maps, but did you know you can also put the map in your offhand? That also leaves you room to do anything with your main hand to do what you want. And the same goes for a clock and a compass. It can be really useful when you're traveling. Alright guys, there you go. Those were my tips and tricks on dual wielding. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos like these. And I will hope to see you around. Bye bye!